All right, today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most important and maybe one of the most misunderstood jobs out there, the director.
I mean, you hear the title director all the time, right? Film directors, creative directors, animation directors, they're all in the director's chair. But what does that job actually involve? And are they all really doing the same thing? Well, that's what we're going to dig into.
So here's our game plan. We'll start with what a director even is, then we'll look at how they build a creative vision and lead their team. After that, we'll get into how the job is totally different depending on the industry, and finally, we'll see all the different ways people actually end up in that director's chair.
Okay, so first up, what is a director? Well, the best way to think about it is like this. They're the conductor of a creative orchestra. They might not play the violin or the drums themselves, but they're the one person making sure every single instrument is playing together to create one beautiful, cohesive piece of music.
And that's really the key, isn't it? It doesn't matter if we're talking about a movie, a video game, or an ad campaign. The director's #1 job is to hold on to that single artistic vision and make sure every single piece of the puzzle fits. They're the unifier in chief.
Let's take something we all know, film. A screenplay, that's just the blueprint, right? It's just words on a page. The director is the one who reads those words and sees a whole world. They visualize everything. And then they have to guide this massive team of experts, the crew, the actors, to actually build that world from the ground up.
So that brings us to their first huge responsibility, crafting the creative vision. This is, you could argue, the most important part of the entire job.
Think of the director as the keeper of the creative flame. From the very first brainstorming session all the way to the final product, they are the one person who holds the entire vision in their head. They know what it's supposed to look like, feel like, and sound like. Every single decision gets checked against that core vision. But that vision can mean totally different things depending on the industry. For a creative director in advertising, the vision is all about strategy. It's about marketing and brand messaging. But then you jump over to film, and a production designer's vision is all about the look, the pure aesthetics of the movie. It's the same principle, just for the completely different application.
Okay, so you have this amazing vision. But what good is it if you can't get anyone to help you build it? That brings us right to the other half of the job, leading the creative team.
I mean, just think about it. You get a bunch of super creative, talented people in a room. They're going to have strong opinions, right? And sometimes those opinions are going to clash. A director has to wear so many hats. They have to be a leader, sure, but also an inspirer and, yeah, sometimes a diplomat. Their job is to get all these different experts to pull in the same direction, all for that one unified vision.
And look at the sheer range of people they have to talk to. One minute they're with actors, the next they're with programmers, then sound mixers, then musicians, then writers. It's wild. They have to speak, or at least understand, the language of all these different fields to get the absolute best out of every single person on the team.
All right, so we've got the big ideas down, vision and leadership. But this is where it gets really interesting, because the actual day-to-day job of a director can be worlds apart, depending on what field they're in.
Let's take animation. In the West, a director is kind of the big boss, overseeing the whole process. But in Japanese anime, the role of Sakuga Kantoku, the animation director, is way more hands-on and specialized. This person is often a master artist who will literally go in and correct other animators' drawings to make sure the style stays perfectly consistent.
And it doesn't stop there. The hierarchy gets even deeper. You'll have an animation director, or sakan, for each individual episode. And then you have a chief animation director, a so-sakan, whose job is to supervise all the episode directors to make sure the style is uniform across the entire series. It's this incredible layered system of artistic quality control.
Here's another one that can get confusing. Creative director versus design director. A creative director often comes from a writing or art directing background. They're all about the big idea, the what and the why. But a design director? They usually come up through the ranks as a designer, so they're much more focused on the how. They have a deep technical expertise and are responsible for the quality of the final work itself. And TV directing has a total split personality. If you're directing a live sports broadcast, you're basically a commander in a control room, calling camera shots and cues in real time. It's intense. But if you direct an episode of a drama series, you're more like a guest in someone else's house. You're there to execute your episode, but you have to do it within the established look and tone set by the show's producer, the showrunner. So, after hearing about all these different roles, you might be wondering, how does anyone actually become a director? Well, it turns out there's really no single path, no one ladder to climb.
Seriously, directors come from everywhere. You've got former screenwriters, film editors, cinematographers, even actors. In the agency world, they come from copywriting or art directing. Each path provides a unique expertise. An editor understands pacing better than anyone. A cinematographer has a master's eye for visuals that can be leveraged into a singular vision.
A perfect example of this? The music video boom of the 80s and 90s. It was this amazing training ground. It let aspiring directors like David Fincher and Spike Jonze experiment with visual storytelling on a small scale, honing their craft before they ever made a feature film. It's proof that there's no single right way to get there.
So, when you boil it all down, it really comes back to three things: vision, leadership, and craft. Having a unique idea, the leadership to inspire a team to build it, and the skill to execute it beautifully. But as new technologies emerge, from interactive stories to virtual worlds, you have to wonder, what will the director of the future look like? And what new creative orchestras will they conduct?